When you hear Guardians of the Galaxy, you most likely picture the MCU versions, maybe the comics. There are a lot of iterations out there, and some of them are incredibly iconic. So, when Eidos Montreal released their video game adaptation in 2021, they had an impossible task. How do you make people care about yet another version of characters they already love? The game itself had a complicated history, which I talked about in the last video. But today, I want to focus entirely on the heart of this experience. We are going to look at how the developers deconstructed these heroes to build a dynamic that feels fresh, visually stunning, and surprisingly emotional. How did they pull it off? Well, it starts with the world they inhabit. The game drops us into a galaxy that's still licking its wounds. A massive galactic war may have ended 12 years ago, but its scars run deep. It's a golden age for opportunists and mercenaries. And this is where we find our Guardians. They are not the well-oiled team you might know. They are a juvenile, barely functional heroes for hire crew trying to make a quick buck. They have a ship, a name, and not much else.
I am Groot.
I do not speak tree.
Hey, you got a problem with Groot, you got a problem with me.
Whoa, one problem at a time.
And I absolutely love that the game throws us in right here. We are not bogged down with a full-blown origin story. Instead, we are dropped right into the middle of the chaos, into the messy, hilarious learning to be a team phase, where the trust is low and the arguments are frequent.
You know what, man? You're being a real jackass, like, way more than usual. Tension is palpable.
Oh, can you both please just get over this?
Agreed, either resolve your issues or fight to the death.
The main plot is kicked into motion by a mysterious and frankly creepy cult called the Universal Church of Truth, which is brainwashing people with the promise, a devastatingly simple offer, a perfect world where every loss is undone and every loved one is returned. That's incredibly tempting. And it's a concept that will hit our heroes where it hurts. And here's the thing, and this is what makes the game so special. The galactic threat, the weird space religion, it's all just a pretense. The real story, the one that matters, it's about 5 broken people in a ship, learning to trust each other and become a family. That's the real adventure we're about to start.
Punch it!
So, what makes the characters in this game click so well? I believe it all boils down to one genius decision by the Eidos Montreal. Let's be real, they were caught between a rock and a hard place.
We are in the place between hard rocks.
Do they adapt the classic comics or the MCU versions that became a cultural phenomenon? The answer was, why not both? They cleverly fused the most beloved traits from the movies with a deeper lore from the comics, then added a spark of their own originality. What we get is a cast that feels instantly recognizable, yet completely fresh. And their dynamic is the best part of the entire experience.
He's not dumb, he's just regular.
Is that what they used to tell you?
I'll take it, because I know that teasing comes from a place of love.
Let's break down the crew. First up, our fearless leader, Peter Quill. On the surface, he seems like a direct lift from the MCU. You've got the creepy, charming man-child persona. the Walkman, the love for the 80s music, and the iconic red leather jacket. He seems a world away from the more world-weary and respected strategist Star-Lord from the comics. But the deeper you get, the more that comic book character shines through. This Peter isn't just a goofball, he's a capable strategist who actually commands his team. He comes up with plans that work. He gives orders that team actually listens to.
Oh yeah, and without an engine, we're screwed anyway! Guys! Enough! Just stop already! I can't hear myself think!
Rocket, fix the engines.
How am I supposed to do that? I can't even run a diagnostic.
I don't care! Just fix it!
And you feel the weight of the difficult choices he has to make.
And what are we supposed to do?
I don't know, okay? I can't just conjure up answers every 2 seconds.
It's an awesome blend that gives us the best of both worlds. Next, the inseparable duo, Rocket and Groot. Rocket's personality, the constant snark, the tech genius hiding a mountain of greed, the fierce love buried under layers of bickering.
Yeah, cram it, Flatnard.
Flatnard?
Yeah, and a scruff chewing one too.
Scoff.
What did you say?
I said scoff.
You don't say scoff, you just scoff.
Oh, so now I don't express myself proper like?
Feels very close to his film counterparts. But this game leans hard into his trauma. He is trauma. His entire angry, defensive personality is a direct result of the horrific experiments that created him. And the game isn't shy about showing you that pain.
They ripped me apart and rebuilt me over and over and over again until I became this half-finished thing they could mold and shape and control.
Frankly, it's a miracle he's not a bigger scuttbag.
Would you all shut your flarkin' traps and let me think?
And Groot? He has a comic-inspired origin. A Flora Colossus, a wise and ancient royal who happens to be the last of his kind. But for the team, he's a walking communication barrier. The fact that only Rocket can understand him is a fantastic story device. It constantly reinforces how new this team is.
I am Groot.
Wow. Wish I could understand that. You have it all figured out, don't you?
I am Groot.
They aren't close enough yet to understand their giant leafy friend. And their bond with Rocket is just as heartwarming as what we see in the MCU. Then we have Drax the Destroyer, who might just be the most masterful blend in the entire game. He is a beloved himbo, whose literal mindness provides some of the funniest moments.
Musclehead's the one who rushed at the first thing that came through the door.
My head is not made of muscle.
A trait made famous by Dave Bautista's incredible performance.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
But underneath the comedy is a well of profound sadness. The game dedicates a real time to exploring his grief over his lost family.
No one should die without meaning, Peter Quill. My wife, Hovat, and my daughter, Camaria. They died without meaning.
And gives him the revered status of being the killer of Thanos. This victory leaves him with a tragic emptiness.
Without it, I will have nothing.
The writers took the beloved comedic persona from the MCU and fused it perfectly with the tragic depths, poetic soul and warrior ethos of the comics. He is both the funniest and the most heartbreaking character all at once.
Seems my destiny was not in the mountains of Kakaranthara after all.
And finally, Gamora, the deadliest woman in the galaxy. Here, the game makes a deliberate choice to step away from the MCU. Her story isn't defined by a romance with Peter or her rivalry with Nebula. Instead, we get a version much more aligned with the comics. A peerless assassin defined by her professional reputation and her intense internal struggle to escape the shadow of the father she betrayed.
Thanos' brand of meditation warped us, turned us into hyper-focused weapons. That way we were numb to the horrors of his agenda. Assassination is just a different name for murder.
But great individual characters don't automatically make a great team. The real magic begins when the game throws these clashing personalities together. They all bounce great off each other.
Stand back. I will breach the perimeter.
It's too thick.
It's too thick.
Who knew?
The constant banter, the heated arguments, the quiet moments of unexpected support. This dynamic is the game's true main character.
Just trying to be positive.
Why?
I think it's a team building thing.
We require no further team building. We are the perfect team.
Meh, we're okay.
That's high praise coming from Murder Mom.
Honestly, after everything we've been through, there's no one I'd rather be doing this with. I flarkin' love you guys.
Gross.
And the developers made sure these well-written, dynamic characters look every bit as good as their concept sound. The visual design is on another level. I mean, I flarkin' love Peter's jacket. The Star-Lord patch is a genius addition that elevates the look to an 11 out of 10. And Drax's swirly red tattoos on his green skin.
My skin is not green. It's teal.
I don't know why they're swirly, but they look so cool. But for me, it was Gamora. Her design is just incredible. The red highlights in her hair look so good. I can't put my finger on why exactly, but I just couldn't help but appreciate the look every time she was on screen. The original designs are so damn good that in my first playthrough, I never, even once, used the unlockable skins. I just didn't want to touch perfection. So we have a brilliant concept, fantastic writing and stunning visual design. But there's one final ingredient that transforms these elements from a collection of polygons and code into living, breathing people. The performance.
Hey, guys! Check it out! I'm totally not dead!
Every single character is incredibly personal, expressive and relatable. The acting is simply superb. And I don't just mean the voice work, which is stellar.
It's about Nikki and what men like Raker and Thanos do to girls like her. Like me. My sister.
I am talking about the facial animations, the mannerism, the way they carry themselves. You can see the emotion on their faces, you feel the weight in the heavy moments, and you genuinely laugh at the comedy.
Rocket. No. Fog monsters? Cave pigs? Wet waterfalls?
Technically, all water.
No, Quill. She doesn't.
Drax's writing is built on his literalist humor, but it's the actors' deadpan delivery that makes the jokes land every single time.
Right. We keep our dead in our hearts.
That cannot be healthy. Their remains should be properly buried.
Do you know how hard it is to make a digital tree that only says 3 words expressive? Yet every time Groot says the tone, the emotion, the intention is perfectly clear. It's a testament to the harmony of the writing, design and acting. And they talk constantly. The game is almost never silent. They banter all the time.
We all know Gamora's super cool and super valuable.
And she has not yet tried to kill us.
You might think it would be too much, but I enjoyed every single second, sometimes a lot.
5,863. Give or take. I got a glitchy calculator chip that's always off by 2.
What is 4 plus 2?
4.
What is 2 plus 4?
8.
And he's our engineer?
Even when replaying the game right away and hearing these conversations again, I couldn't bring myself to skip them. They are just that good.
Yep, end of story.
That is not the end of the story.
I know, big guy. Let's just not push it right now.
What elevates the character design even more is that this incredible level of care isn't just reserved for the 5 names on the box. It extends to an unforgettable supporting cast, from a delightfully weird telepathic Soviet space dog named Cosmo.
Do not feed Cosmo cat biscuits, Piotr Kuyev.
To the wonderfully complex Mantis.
Hi guys!
Even though she is not in the main cast, everything about her is just on the same level as them. A perfect blend that takes the personality of the MCU version and fuses it with the substance of her comic book counterpart. Her powers, her appearance and her function in the story. Her look? Incredible! I couldn't stop looking at that costume. Her voice? Just perfect. She steals every scene she's in.
It depends. But at some point, someone says my name, and then there's a little bit of pee.
Great. I did not want to know that.
Oh yeah, little fuzzy. Maybe the little bit of pee is you.
Nope.
And trying to follow her delightful timeline-hopping train of thought is such a joy.
Sunlord, right? Is it Rockstar?
It's Star-Lord.
Hey, that's right. I forget which version of you I've met.
So when you look at the complete picture, the brilliant conceptual fusion of the Guardians, their electric chemistry, their stunning designs, the soul-giving performance that ties them together, and the fact that this same love was put into every character in the story, you realize you're experiencing a symphony of character creation, where every single part works together to create something unforgettable.
Are you gonna be okay?
That was just so...
Metal?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. Next time I'll be releasing the full video essay about Guardians of the Galaxy. It's big and there's a lot to discuss, so I hope you'll join me. Subscribe not to miss it, and I'll see you in the next one.